NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. A section of NAIT's campus remains closed following a fire in a classroom more than a week ago.
Absolutely a disruption for hundreds of students and instructors as they are having to relocate classes until reconstruction is complete. Brittany Matika joins us with more on that story.
Thanks, Ethan and Taylor. Directly behind me is the G wing of NAIT, where over a week ago, a fire took out a classroom on the second floor. Construction workers are currently looking to repair the building and get students back in the classroom as quickly as possible. Cameron Brzezinski is a first-year mechanical engineering student waiting for word on when his lab classes will resume. They have been canceled for now as classrooms are closed and access to the building is restricted. NAIT is currently working on rescheduling classes.
My prof can't even get into the room to get any lab materials, so right now we don't have a lab.
The fire started in a lab class on February 10th. While all students and staff made it out of the building safely, the damage to the classrooms is extensive. Shane Pollum was in a physics lab on the second floor of the building when the fire alarm sounded.
After the fire, well, the one alarm got pulled and everyone filed into the X-wing. And they shut the first set of doors and everyone was just hanging out, but then the teachers backed up. Everyone closed the second set and then another alarm went off.
Now the focus is on rebuilding. Crews are working on cleaning up and reconstructing the G-wing, but they're not sure how long this process could take.
One of our top priorities is really getting things back to normal as quickly as possible and resuming normal business operations. We understand this has been disruptive for some, and again, I just want to make the transition as smooth as possible. The shop at NAIT and Tim Hortons here in the X-Wing have been closed, and they're reopening next week, so a lot of people have been interested in that as well. All the classes have been rescheduled.
While NAIT works on rescheduling classes, Cameron is staying positive, keeping up with his studies, and hopes to be back in the lab soon. NAIT says it will be a few weeks before the tape comes down and the wing is reopened for students. The fire is currently under investigation, and it is not yet known what the cost of the damages will be. Brittany Matika, NAIT NewsWatch.
Thanks, Brittany.
That's our very own Brittany Matika reporting from the south end of NAIT's main campus.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
Starting tomorrow, the Metro Line LRT will be running at full speed. The city says trains will be traveling at 50 kilometers through intersections starting tomorrow. Mayor Don Iveson spoke about the progress when he held a Facebook Live event earlier this week, updating residents about the LRT system.
All the paperwork is cleared and the safety case has been signed off, and the information necessary and all the software upgrades appear to be good to go. So on Sunday, you'll get the Metro line running at full speed, which is up to 50 kilometers an hour.
Next in the LRT agenda is to begin construction of the Valley Line.
Drivers heading downtown should expect some delays for the next few weeks, as the Harbin Gate is scheduled to be removed as construction on the city's new Valley Line LRT begins. Starting Monday, 3 of 4 lanes heading eastbound on 102 Avenue from 97th to 95th Street will be closed. The gate was a gift to the city of Edmonton from Harbin, China in 1987. Sonny, a local, shares his thoughts on the deconstruction of the gate.
It's a bad thing. So that's why I come here to take the picture. Because I think that there's a very good existing structure here.
City officials say the gate will be moved into a storage facility. The $1.8 billion Valley Line LRT is expected to be up and running in 2020.
A new pin is available to help Alberta's law enforcement take part in Pink Shirt Day. Pink Shirt Day has become a growing movement for people to show their support to end the bullying stigma. Law enforcement and first responders who are required to wear uniforms now have a unique way to participate. Sergeant Major Adrian Marr came up with the idea of the pin.
I strongly believe that Pink Shirt Day is a very powerful movement, and that we as officers need to take advantage of this opportunity to take a stand against bullying.
The pin looks like a pink shirt and was designed by Dirks. They are being sold for $5 and the proceeds will go to support anti-bullying programs.
A touching memorial to show support for victims of violence and abuse. Hundreds of people walked this past Tuesday in support and in memory of women who have been victims of abuse and violence. The march is held annually on Valentine's Day. Linda Boudreau, one of the event's speakers and organizers, shared her thoughts on what the event teaches.
We need to understand grief. We need to understand loss and how much it hurts and causes ugliness in our families and communities. And
This was Edmonton's 12th annual Women's Memorial March.
With only 9% of Albertans registered as organ donors, a local man is sharing his story in hopes of encouraging others to register. Darren Rains is a double transplant recipient. He received a pancreas and his other transplant, a kidney, donated by his wife. He spoke at a news conference this week about the importance of organ donation. More than 330,000 Albertans have registered with the Alberta Organ and Tissue Donation Registry since 2014, but still 600 people in the province are waiting for an organ transplant.
So it's truly been a second chance at life without the handcuffs of the secondary complications to diabetes. And
just one organ donor can save up to 8 lives.
Daylight savings time, something that's probably caused all of us to be late for something, could soon be a thing of the past.
Over 90% of people who filled out the survey want to get rid of daylight saving time.
The province wants your opinion on whether to get rid of daylight savings time. The government launched an online survey Monday, and already more than 17,000 Albertans have filled it out. NDP MLA Thomas Dang is pushing for the legislation that would eliminate daylight savings time.
So daylight saving time is very difficult to adjust to for families and our agriculture partners. So it's something that I thought we should make a difference in.
Dang says right now survey results show an overwhelming support for scrapping the time change. You can take the online survey until the end of February.
A couple of Edmontonians are hoping their love of kayaking turns into a successful business.
Here's our kayak, right here.
Tanner Prive Richardson is co-founder of the Just In Case Kayak, a portable kayak. It was designed and created in Tanner's apartment. The kayak is being crowdfunded right now on Kickstarter and has just over $40,000 pledged so far.
We're a company, we're a Canadian company, we're trying to really make this product. And yeah, we're not, a tech company, and we're not, a car company or something normal. We're not
Tanner said the 6-pound kayak will hopefully be released late July with a launch party in Edmonton's River Valley.
The city of Edmonton has reinstated the community sandbox program. The sandboxes were paid for when the program was first instated years ago, but because of the nice weather last winter, the program ended to save money. But with the increased amounts of ice this year, the sand was in high demand. 150 sandboxes have now been placed all around Edmonton for the public to use on their icy sidewalks or driveways. For more information or to locate a sandbox, go to edmonton.ca.
Local students used their voices to help Alberta's Lieutenant Governor mark National Flag Day. This ceremony began with the arrival of the Honorable Louis E. Michel, who was greeted by a flag party. Grade 5 students from several schools around Edmonton were on hand to celebrate the raising of our Canadian flag.
And who can't learn the best when you're having fun? What do you think? You're going to have fun today? That's what this is all about. You're going to learn while having fun. That's the most important thing for you to know today.
After a brief introduction, the kids got to explore Government House learning all about Canada and its flag. Each group also got to have a meeting with Her Honor to ask some questions.
Coming up after this short break, college and university students get a week off.
That's right, the long-awaited reading week is meant to take the stress away.
Things pick up around stressful times, such as midterms, or especially around this time of year, because it's been a long couple of semesters.
It's been a busy week in sports, as the men's and women's volleyball teams played last week, and the men's hockey team is gearing up for playoffs.
Today, we're wiping spring mud off the windshields. Hang on to this, though. You might need it tomorrow. More coming up in weather.
I wonder how all the ice sculptures are faring up with all this warm weather this week.
Not sure. I just know I have to wash my car soon before the nice weather runs away.
Well, I'm not going to blame you for wanting to do that. It looks like we are going to get some cold weather coming up this week, and tomorrow we may as well just be walking right into another winter wonderland. Jennifer Ray has more on this with weather.
That's right. So you better get that car washed because it's going to get colder, and we're going to get that moisture. That warm, moist air that we've been loving is going to become snow. And up in Calgary, down in Calgary, look at that, it's going to be +2 or -3. And when we're getting that sort of above and below zero, you want to watch out for icy streets. Plus, there will be snow covering that. So take care when you're out there on the roads down in Calgary. And then now we're on to Jasper, and again, 0 with a -5. That 0 is going to be nice. However, that -5 is probably going to come with snow. So great if you want to hit the slopes, and but not so great if you're driving. So again, be careful on those icy roads. Up in Fort Mac, -2, -6. You want to, again, just, hey, it's pretty nice weather for you guys. And but again, snow. So if you like to get out, snowboard, snowmobile, that kind of thing, you may just be right on track this weekend. And then down in Edmonton, we are going to be getting a little colder. So we're going to be 1, -5. Again, that warm, cold, 80% chance of snow. So be careful, those roads are going to be icy. If you like to slip and slide, it's going to be a great weekend. And yeah, just be careful. Make sure you've got all your sand in the back of that trunk for Sunday morning. And you'll be good to go to whatever great events you're going to on Sunday. And here we are in that, we're just a kind of an average winter. El Niño's done. And we're back to warm spell, cold spell. So yeah, just an average winter, just a little light on the snow apparently. Our records, we did make some records this week. So awesome, it was spring out there. And really, we're really hoping not to hit that -38 for another century. 1885 was a pretty bad year, I guess. And yeah, so that's it for the weather. Just take care out there on the roads, and you folks who like the snow, it's going to be great for you on Sunday.
Weather, brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Thousands of university and college students in our city are on a long reading week ahead.
The break is meant to help students relax and get mentally prepared to complete the rest of their term, as Austin Patrick reports.
February is one of the most stressful months for students, with midterms starting and students only recently coming off of the previous semester. A break is definitely needed. NAIT has recently added more counselors to help students with the increased amount of stress.
Typically, we see things pick up around stressful times, such as midterms, or especially around this time of year.
NAIT has keyed into the increased stress and has implemented many new events to give students a chance to relax. One of the ways NAIT is helping is by giving free massages on Wellness Wednesdays.
It's getting to the crunch time, that's for sure. Things like the Wellness Wednesday really help us relax.
NAIT student Jeffrey Trainer is one of the many students who cannot wait for reading week to come.
Probably just relaxing and enjoying my time, because a lot of the times we're around, we have some time as students, but we're reading and writing and all kinds of stuff, so it's stressful.
And, having that break is really important. And I guess one thing I would really encourage people to do is, we have these days blocked off. Try to use them in the most relaxing and enjoyable way possible.
Whether you are stressed out from midterms or just tired from the weather, we could all use a relaxing break. Austin Patrick, NAIT NewsWatch.
I heard it was a busy day on the volleyball court last weekend.
Yeah, and both of our volleyball teams are going to start getting ready for playoffs here, right?
That's right, guys. They're getting ready for playoffs, as well as our men's hockey team is gearing up for that, too. However, let's take a look at some volleyball action from that afternoon in the NAIT Gymnasium. Men's and women's volleyball team played against the Grand Prairie Wolves back-to-back. Ooks in blue, Grand Prairie in gray. Ooks down 2-0. Looking to make a comeback, Hannah Gorgachuk receives a serve. Jamie Bain sets it up for Nalani Stang for the spike, and Janelle Dentanger can't handle it. Ooks make it 27-27. However, 28-27 now with a possible match point for the Wolves. Hannah Gorgachuk receives the serve, bumps it to Jamie Bain, and sets up for Nellie Stang for the spike. But McKenna Wolstenholm gets it, and Nicole Clayton sets it up for Emily Gronenboom. Ooks lose the final set 29-27. The Ooks are currently in fourth place in the North and have 3 more games left in the season. Now we take a look at the men's volleyball game that took place that afternoon. Going straight to a long second set, Wolves up 31-30. Mitch Lurington sets it up for Spencer Fisher, who sends it over. Robertson gets it. Marshall Koch sets it up for James Haythorne to tip it over. Isaiah Syme dives for it. Mitch Lurington keeps it alive, and Hamish Hazeldean sends it over. Haythorne handles it well. Robertson sets it up, and Haythorne with the spike. Luke's not able to get there. However, they show their experience later on. However, rest of the match, Mitchell Luck receives the ball, Robertson sets it up, and Zemlak with the spike. Wolves not able to get there.
Yeah, we want to roll right into provincials there and keep it going. We got Kings next weekend, so it's going to be 2 more big games, and hopefully that'll prepare us for props.
Dukes are currently sitting in third place in the North, with the Augustana Vikings trailing behind them by 6 points. With only one last regular season game left tonight, the NAIT Ooks men's hockey team is looking to get ready for their playoffs. The Ooks are currently sitting at the top of the league. However, much of their championship team has changed since last year. With most of them being first-year players, head coach Tim Fragel has big expectations of his vets this postseason.
Absolutely, and they've stepped up already this year with a lot of our first years having to play more minutes than years past. So we would expect that to continue into the playoffs. And for us to have success, quite frankly, we're going to need it. So we'll need everybody to contribute.
The Dukes will be taking home ice advantage in their best of 3 series in 2 weeks. The Dukes are 12-2 at home for the season. The Dukes will be back in action March 10th in the semifinal. The NHL and the Edmonton Oilers are trying to make hockey a more inclusive sport through their Hockey is for Everyone campaign. The Oilers shared messages of inclusion this week as they hosted their first ever You Can Play night. It's part of a new league-wide initiative focusing on raising awareness towards equality.
Acceptance and change, it doesn't happen overnight. I think but it happens fast. And I think that it happens fast when you have conversations and when you have leadership. And to see Connor McDavid and the rest of the Oilers, getting behind something where the messaging is, if you're a good teammate, we don't really care. Like I said, if you're gay, if you have a different religion than me, if you're a different color, who cares?
The month of February is Hockey for Everyone month. This week, I went to Edmonton indoor cricket and baseball to try and learn some of the basics in the second most popular sport in the world, cricket. Before I got started, I had to put on some safety equipment. Some leg pads and gloves. I thought it was going to be that easy. But I had to learn how to hold and swing the bat.
Yeah. Shoulder here, point to the base at the point here, and your head alongside, looking at the person. Yes. And before that ball comes to you, base.
And then I was on my way down the lane. I had a few swings and misses to start it off, but I started getting to the swing of things and started making contact with the ball. And that's the Nzone challenge for today. Thank you, Tyson.
You're welcome.
We had a good time today at the Edmonton Indoor Cricket and Baseball Center, Limited.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a pleasure having you. You know, for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know what, guys? Cricket is a lot harder than it looks, especially trying to bowl the ball.
Well, thanks for showing us how to do all that, but I got something to admit, guys. I've never, ever tried cricket before.
You know, unfortunately, I don't have the patience for cricket. It almost seems like those matches can last for days.
Well, coming up after the break, we see some good deeds done.
Ethan and I decided to get in on the action, putting a little excitement into someone's day.
Good deeds, and like we're not going to get anything from it, but it's good to see the smiles on people's faces.
Hey folks, the weather's warm, so you're going to want to come down to Silver Skate Festival while you can. I'll have that in Charlotte's Web in Sherwood Park and more coming up in entertainment, so stick around.
NAIT NewsWatch jackets provided by Smeal Jam, White Court, and Elite Sportswear.
Hair services provided by Rock Salon and Spa.
Music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
This week, to get involved in our community, we took part in Random Acts of Kindness Week.
So me and Taylor decided to put our own spin on Random Acts of Kindness movement formulated by elementary students.
Good deeds, and like we're not going to get anything from it, but it's good to see the smiles on people's faces and to get the good closure and stuff.
Father Leo Green elementary students gathered outside Rogers Place to hand out kind notes to city-goers walking past. Ethan and I were inspired by the movement and decided to surprise one of NAIT's very own. Linda Bethel is NAIT's radio and television receptionist. A very hard worker and very charismatic woman, we decided to surprise her with donuts and a coffee.
It's Random Act of Kindness Week, as you may or may not know. So we're going to be doing some random acts of kindness. And today, we're going to be giving you...
Thank you. Oh, consider me random anytime.
Random Acts of Kindness Week runs from the 12th to the 18th of February, so you still have a few hours to go and do something kind for someone else.
You know, Taylor, I really can't decide where to spend my family day this year. I'm all out of ideas.
You know, I'm kind of feeling the same way, Ethan. I'm stuck for ideas too. Let's see if Darcy can help us make up our minds in entertainment.
Yeah, I've got you guys covered. Charlotte's Web is the tale of an unlikely friendship between a pig named Wilbur and a spider named Charlotte. Now the timeless children's classic is being performed for families this weekend at Festival Place.
Are big, me I'm small. Who says we can't be friends? I'm not like you at all.
Oh, who says we can't be friends? We can all find friendship in the most unlikely of places. That's the message behind this musical mashup of E.B. White's classic children's novel.
When I heard there was Charlotte's Web, I was really excited, and I thought it would be really cool if I tried out for it. I never thought I'd get Wilbur, but it's pretty exciting.
I read the book a couple times at school, and I've seen the movie, and I really like the story. I think it's really cute.
Charlotte's Web is on stage at Festival Place until Monday night. The shows take place twice a day at 2 o'clock and 6:30. There are still tickets available to the show, so get yours by going online to festivalplace.ab.ca. There are a lot of activities taking place around Edmonton for Family Day long weekend, and if you haven't had a chance to check out the ice castles and Silver Skate Festival at Horlack Park, you still have a couple of days to get in and enjoy the winter festivities. It's kind of bittersweet, you know, this weather is so nice, but it's just melting this beautiful ice castle. Site manager Corey B. Livinggood says they'll only be open in the evenings when it cools down.
The flow, because of all the dripping during the day, it pulls up, it floods, it creates a sheet of water on top of everything that whenever the temperatures do drop, turns into a sheet of ice.
Right.
People walking across the pack.
At this point, organizers say the ice castle will be open in the evenings tomorrow and Monday starting at 6 o'clock, but they are telling people to check their website before heading out for updates. Unless you've been living under some kind of a rock, or maybe you just don't like country music, you've probably most likely heard that Garth Brooks is playing a few shows here at Rogers Place. His concert kicked off last night. He's playing 9 shows in Edmonton, and that has some local businesses excited. Local business owners like Dusty here say that every time a major country artist makes a splash in Edmonton, they see a little more sales.
There were a lot of artists like that were really, really good. They weren't like the twang country artists from. It's really good when you can have somebody that makes a big deal.
Brooks performed a show this afternoon and will play again tonight at 7. He has concerts scheduled right up until February 24th. If you're looking for a few ways to keep busy with the family over the holidays, I've got you covered. The Edmonton Public Library is offering an array of activities for the whole family, including movies, music, juggling, and storytelling. Events will be spread out at locations across the city. The event takes place on Monday from 1 to 5. The Alberta Legislature is offering some fun indoors, including Lego and clowns. The event runs at the Alberta Legislature from 11 to 5. And finally, the Edmonton Family and Community Support Services Program is urging you and your family to turn off the electronics and spend a little quality time with each other. Sounds weird, I know, right? But apparently that's what the holiday was made for. That's your entertainment this week. Have a great long weekend.
Thousands of young students played hooky this week.
The annual Oil Kings Hockey Hooky brought over 25 schools to Rogers Place on Wednesday.
Not to watch them lose. That's true. Goal like he did it. So one thing to say, let's go Oil Kings.
About 9,000 students having all kinds of fun on Wednesday. The kids' enthusiasm must have rubbed off on the Oil Kings because they won in overtime 3-2.
Well, this has been another edition of NAIT NewsWatch. Thank you very much for watching.
Have a great night.